Let This Grieving Soul Retire. Let This Grieving Soul Retire is a new obsession of mine, and I'm absolutely heartbroken that the series has ended, at least the first season. I'm already looking to read the light novels. That's how good it was to me. Let me tell you what this is about. The story follows Krai Andrey. He is our MC and the star of the show. Well, Krai has a group of 5 childhood friends, and they all made a promise to one another to become adventurers one day, also known as treasure hunters in this world. And this is a promise that they all took extremely seriously, so everyone became overpowered in this group with constant training and hard work, and with some natural talent, of course, except for one person, Krai. He's the only person in his friend group that has nothing particularly special about him, and this has made Krai want to quit being an adventurer. But to his surprise, when he was going to retire, his friends decided to make Krai the leader of their party. And this party got pretty popular eventually, with him being the figurehead of the most popular party of treasure hunters, the Grieving Souls, which is a really cool and awesome name, by the way, and their mask designs are impeccable. He came up with the name in the hopes that the group would not want him as leader anymore, but it didn't work. The biggest appeal of this series to me, I'm going to be honest, it's that Krai is viewed as some huge powerhouse and mastermind when he really isn't. He is known by his alias 1000 Tricks because not many people have seen him fight, so most things said about him are highly exaggerated. This mystery behind him is what makes him known as 1000 Tricks, but this is mostly because of how his friends talk about him in the best of ways, and we know how strong and powerful they are, so why wouldn't you believe the word of 5 powerful adventurers who are the strongest in your land? Even the villains of this show get scared of any small thing Krai does, thinking that he has something up his sleeve for their evil plans just by the information spread about him. But it's not only this, anything Krai does or says eventually ends up being true, even if he doesn't know or believe it himself. It's hilarious. I thought someone say that this is the Eminence in the shadow of Sid was weak, and that is a perfect comparison to me. And this actually came out before Eminence in Shadow, so don't try to roast it. Krai, he has these things known as relics, which are very powerful artifacts found from treasure hunting vaults, which can give you certain abilities, such as giving yourself more than one life, shooting blasts from your fingers, powerful swords, healing, masks that can change your appearance, just anything you can think of. The story in this isn't particularly anything grand or stellar, but that's not what Let This Grieving Soul Retire tries to do. It focuses on the comedy and fantastic character writing. Speaking of character writing, let's get into the characters now. We will start off with Tino. This is the girl you've probably seen tons of edits of. She is a registered hunter who is a level 4 and is around most of the story with Krai. She became a hunter because of the Grieving Souls when they saved her when she was little. She looks up to Krai the most, but she is also an apprentice of one of Krai's childhood friends, who we will talk about later. She looks up to Krai like he is a god, and that's super funny. He asks her to do certain objectives for him just because he's lazy, like going to a treasure vault for a mission, and she always believes there is some special reason he sends her to do these things for experience, but no. Next we will talk about the rest of the Grieving Souls. First, starting off with the ones that I don't know the most about yet. Spoilers for the last episode, episode 13, Eliza Peck. She is the only member of the group that isn't a childhood friend. She was talked about in the final episode for like 20 seconds and that's it. But next, Ansem. He is a super huge character in their group, and I'm not entirely sure what his abilities are, but it looks like he's a healer, which is kind of funny because of how big he is. I thought he'd be a tank or like a warrior or something with the armor he has. I believe he is the brother of Liz and Citri. Next, Luke Cycle. He is the musclehead of the group, and he is a swordsman. His nickname is 1000 Swords. Although everyone in the group is strong, I think most people acknowledges him as one of the strongest, not just in their party, but the entire capital. And I could be wrong, but I think this man uses a wooden sword to this day. Okay, next, Lucia Rogia. She is said to be the sister of Krai, but they don't really show much about her yet. And they say that she is his sister, but they don't have the same last name, so I don't know exactly how that works. Maybe they're like step siblings or something. But she is one of the most powerful mages in the world. Even though she is human, other races who look down on humans even acknowledges her skill. Krai needs magic energy for all of his relics to work, and apparently this is a huge deal because he has tons of them, and they all need constant charging for him to use them because he isn't the strongest, so he has to rely on these. Lucia charges them, But seeing as to how the grieving souls are often outside the capital on important business, he had to get other people to charge them. They had to get many others to charge Krai's relics in her place, showing how much of a monster she really is. Okay, now for my favorite characters in the series, bro. First, Citri Smart. As a hunter, she earned the respect as the powerful weakling party member of the team due to her excellent learning and incredible knowledge in alchemy. But Citri began losing confidence in herself as her team members began to pull ahead of her. During this period, Krai lent her a hand and encouraged her to pursue something that she yearned for. His motivational words is what led her to fall in love with him. He knew how she felt powerless. He feels the exact same way for all of his childhood friends and the grieving souls pulling ahead of him. She loves him nonetheless, and even though she is smart as heck and the nicest to Krai, she is also known as probably the most cruel and dark person in the entire group, even though she isn't the strongest. She's great, bro. Well, maybe not the most cruel, because the next person, Liz Smart, she's my favorite character in the entire series, Free. Her nickname is Stifled Shadow because she is known as probably the fastest person in the verse, and when she moves, you don't see even a shadow of hers. She is strong as heck too, and is ultra aggressive. When I say ultra aggressive, I mean exactly that. Whatever you're thinking times 10. She literally has a quote that is, think after you kill. Krai has stated that her and Luke have been competing against each other for all this time, and that's what has made them so strong. She is also the teacher of Tino. She is super hard on her, which can be funny, but it also makes me feel bad for Tito. She is also in love with Krai, by the way, and even though her personality is super aggressive, and I mean super aggressive, she is super nice and sweet to Krai, and it's hilarious how different she is talking to him compared to everybody else. But for all the grieving souls, they all realized that they needed to get stronger and stronger, so that is why they have went through so many trials and tribulations. Krai got all these cool masks made, and they're super heavy, and I'm sure, but not 100% sure, that they can't see out of them. So this made them even stronger. Although it isn't on purpose, Krai is the one who holds this group together, I think. If not for him, I think this group would have taken over the capital, maybe even the world. Liz and Luke's strengths, along with Citri's ruthlessness, but Krai is there. And lastly, I think they know Krai isn't particularly the strongest in their group, but he is their childhood friend whom they love dearly. I do believe that they believe he is more than capable of doing things on his own though. And at the end of the day, as we saw in the last episode, even though he cares a lot for his well-being and his own wants, I think he still will risk a lot for the happiness and well-being of his childhood friends. So even though he cares about his safety and wants quite a lot of things, he would put that all aside for his friends. And it's a very goofy and fun series. There's way more characters than I brought up, but I feel like the ones I talked about were the most important. In this series, the action, the characters, and the comedy is what made me fall in love with it. I'm definitely reading the light novels after this. Please give us a season 2. I beg. But thanks for watching. I appreciate every single one of you who clicked on the video, and I will see you next time.